Through life, I am a 6-week postpartum geriatric mama. And on today's video, we are talking about the truth, the real experience, what it feels like to be categorized as a geriatric mom. Now, I am not new to this. I am true to this. I am a 3-time geriatric mom because I actually got pregnant with my first son when I was 34. I turned 35 while I was pregnant. And when I tell you, it was like night and day the way they treated me when I was 34 versus the next week when I came back into the office as a 35-year-old and was officially categorized as geriatric. So because I didn't really know what that meant in terms of the differences in my pregnancy experience, and because that might have been something that I Googled or looked up here on YouTube, I thought it would be a useful and hopefully helpful conversation for all my OG old ass mamas out there. Us millennials are doing this motherhood thing a little differently. I think that it's absolutely crazy that I have friends that are my age that I went to high school with who are grandmothers, okay, our grandparents, and here I am with a 6-week-old baby. But I love that for us. I love that we have decided to march to the beat of our own drum. We're doing things our own way, and we are saying F you to society's deadlines. Okay. So one thing that I thought was just crazy again is the fact that I was 34 at one appointment, and then at the very next appointment I was 35, and it was like everything changed. So now I was magically more high risk 1 week to the next, which boils down to what I feel like is the moral of this video, or the purpose that I want to drive home, is the fact that the medical system in America is full of fear mongering. They tell you so many things. They put you in so many categories. They try to scare you, I guess, into following the rules of the system by giving you all of these risks, which could or could not be true for you. But one thing that we all know is that everybody's situation and circumstances are different. Everybody literally is different, and every pregnancy is different. So the things that my body did during my first pregnancy were different than what they did during my third. And I don't necessarily know that that had something to do with me being an old geriatric mother. But some of the things that it means when you are over 35 and considered to be a geriatric mother, number one, they're going to want to do more testing, because now magically you are more high risk for everything. One of the things that I hated that they kept wanting to like scare me with was the idea of stillbirth. I mean, I don't know if it's like just conversations I have not been privy to, but I only really heard people talking about how hard it was to get pregnant prior to my pregnancy. I only ever heard the conversation about like infertility and getting pregnant. Then once I started joining like Facebook groups for first time moms, I was seeing post after post after post from these mothers that were losing their babies. And it wasn't until I joined that Facebook group that I realized how hard it is to stay pregnant. Getting pregnant is one thing, but staying pregnant, having a healthy pregnancy, making it to the finish line, and then making it home with a healthy baby is truly a miracle. The closest thing to birth is death. Okay. And so it truly was like mind blowing to me, and kind of scary how many women were coming back to this group and just saying like, you know, trigger warning, I lost my baby. So I didn't realize how hard it was to stay pregnant. And so the fact that the doctors kept wanting to mention stillbirth, it was like pissing me off, because I know that your mindset is everything. Your intentions are everything. Your expectations have a lot to do with what you experience. And I could not fathom making it all the way to 40 weeks full term, making it to labor, delivery, and then not leaving the hospital with a healthy baby. I can't imagine that. So for them to have kept mentioning it as a big like risk factor that I was, at risk for now that I was over 35, that was pissing me off. So I definitely felt like there was a lot of fear mongering and mentioning of risks, which I understand. I want to be informed, but you don't have to keep bringing that up. Like, being pregnant is already stressful enough. It's already emotional enough. Your hormones are already all over the place. So you don't have to scare me with all of the things that could possibly, go wrong over and over and over again. Tell me once, I promise you, I will remember it. So aside from them just mentioning all of the risks a million times, doing more tests, they also do more ultrasounds when you are considered geriatric, because again, they want to make sure your baby is growing. This little mamacita was considered to be small, so I had to do extra ultrasounds towards the end of my pregnancy, which, if y'all know me, I am a true crunchy mama, and I don't believe in most of the medical things. Most medical theories I just don't subscribe to. So I was already feeling some type of way by having to do all of these extra ultrasounds. But I'm not going to lie, when it came down to it, I had to make sure that my baby was healthy. So I definitely fell for it and had all of those extra ultrasounds. The other thing that stood out for a geriatric pregnancy was the extra glucose test that you are required to do. So again, with my first pregnancy, I was 34, 35 when I delivered. With my second pregnancy, I was 36, 37 when I delivered. And with this baby, I was 39 and 40 when I delivered. So again, my whole entire pregnancy from February to October, I was 39. On October 1st, I turned 40. And when I turned 40, everything changed, because now I'm at even higher risk for all of the complications and things that could go wrong. And so I have experienced every stage from 35, which is the start of geriatric pregnancy, to 40, which is that next milestone where apparently you're at risk for all the things again. And so again, I just wanted to dispel the myths that your eggs are dust, that you have to have a baby get pregnant by a certain time in order for it to be healthy, in order for you to be able to do it naturally without complications. And I'm definitely a testament to that not being the case. I got pregnant 3 times by surprise, wonderful surprises. And I had relatively uneventful, I literally had eventful pregnancies. I did not experience morning sickness one time throughout any of my 3 pregnancies. I never had to, take the fertility pills, the teas, all of the things that I thought I was going to have to do. I didn't have to do those things. And so I just want to be a word of encouragement for other women out there who are watching that clock, feeling like it's ticking and thinking that your time is passing you by. Okay. So this is hopefully encouraging to those of you who do not have babies yet, who aspire to be geriatric mamas, but also helping you feel seen if you are a geriatric mama and you were tired of hearing that word. You're tired of hearing them telling you all of the things that could potentially go wrong. And instead of just being helpful and helping you have the healthiest, happiest possible pregnancy experience. So the only other thing that I noticed that was different once I turned 40 is in my 9th month, the last month of my pregnancy, I had to do weekly stress tests. So I don't know how y'all do it, but with Kaiser, who my insurance is through, in your last month, you have weekly doctor's appointments. So at those last 4 appointments, I had to do a stress test, which my baby hated that stress test. And it's basically where they hook up these bands, these stretchy bands and monitors to your belly for 20 minutes. And they monitor the baby's heart rate for 20 minutes to make sure that they are not in distress. And so it's like constant monitoring for 20 minutes straight. So that's something that you have to do when you turn 40. They also don't want you to go past your due date, again, because of that risk of stillbirth. So what I learned in my experience and what I've just seen through the experience of others and in talking to the midwife that I work with is most women do not have their baby on their due date. It's like 5% of women that have their babies on their actual due date. And a lot of women go past their due date. I went past my due date with my first two babies, and had I not scheduled a C-section with her, I'm sure I would have went past my due date with her as well. My first baby, I had medical interventions. If y'all are not subscribed to my podcast, Girls Stop Playing, definitely make sure you subscribe. I will link it down below. But I shared my birth stories on the pod. And with my first pregnancy, what could go wrong did go wrong. The water birth that I planned to have did not work out. I ended up in the hospital, being induced, having a C-section, all of the things, and I went past my due date. With my second baby, I decided I was going to let my body do what it naturally wanted to do, because I just was hoping and believing and praying that my body could go into labor and it could just do it naturally. And so I let myself go past my due date against the recommendations of my doctors. And lo and behold, labor started naturally 3 days after my due date. So I'm not going to say most, but a lot of women go past. You've been doing so good. I'm talking about you, girl. A lot of women do go past their due date and they end up having healthy babies. So I think that they, again, try to scare you into thinking that if you go a second past the guess, which your due date is nothing but a guess, but if you go past that time, something horrific is going to happen. And that's absolutely not the case. The biggest asset that you have as a pregnant woman is your mind. It's your mental health. So you cannot afford to have these doctors scaring you and making you believe that your body cannot do what it was made to do. We talked about the true life of being a geriatric mom at 35. I shared with you what I experienced to be the difference at 40. Now I just want to talk about the mindset part, because if y'all subscribe to the channel, which hopefully if you don't, you will, you know I'm big on mindset. In order for me to go from making $32,000 as a teacher to a multi-million-dollar digital brand, it took a change of mindset. In order for me to go from being single and struggling to finally, getting healthy myself, setting standards myself and for myself, and being happily married, it took me changing my mindset. In order for us to accept the season that we are in as geriatric mothers, it's going to require us to be intentional with our mindset. And so it's super hard, like already dealing with aging. I don't know about you millennials, but I can't believe that I'm like the auntie now. I can't believe that I'm the OG, triple OG. I can't believe that some of the people that I went to high school with are grandparents. That's crazy to me, for me to wrap my mind around. I feel like I was just 18 years old standing outside of a club in line with a Charlotte Russe dress on. And now I'm a geriatric mother. So dealing with the reality of aging is one thing, but dealing with that reality of aging with a newborn baby is something totally different. So a couple things that I tell myself, because this is not me preaching to you, this is me reminding myself as well. First thing is not to accept anyone else's definition of you, like you understanding and figuring out and choosing, because it's literally a choice, but you choosing how you want to define yourself in this season. You choosing what title you want to answer to. You choosing how you want to be seen and how you want to show up in this season. And then you not allowing anyone to reshape your decision or redefine the definition that you have for yourself. So that's the first thing. Second thing is to find your tribe. We see all of these posts going viral about your village, but whose village are you a part of? Usually it should be a reciprocal relationship. So if I'm in your village, you should be in mine. So if you are having a hard time finding a village, maybe you should try being part of a village. Okay, try being part of a village, and that a lot of times by supporting other people and giving them what you need and what you want for yourself, that's how you'll be able to attract it and align with people who are in alignment with the vision that you see for yourself, with the definition that you have for yourself in this season. So finding your tribe is super important. Being able to relate to other people, being able to be seen, being able to see yourself in other people and through other people's experiences, especially as we are all entering the newness of this new season, especially if you are a new mom or if you have a newborn, even if it's not your first baby, it's important that you have a tribe of supportive people to hold hands with as you walk through this new season. You also have to be willing to ignore the noise. Social media is full of foolishness, okay? Social media is a gift and a curse, but everybody is not bouncing back, snatching back, snapping back. Everybody does not love motherhood. Some people are miserable in motherhood. Some people are dealing with mental health issues as mothers. Some people are dealing with deadbeat partners that they are trying to parent with. And so you can get discouraged and stressed out quickly by looking at the perfection of these posts that we see on social media. Nobody's life is perfect, okay? Even the person who seems like they are living their best life and is like Susie Homemaker, you know, loving her mom life. Nobody is living a perfect life. Everyone aspires to experience something different than what they're currently experiencing. And so you have to ignore the noise and keep your eyes on your own prize. Lastly, and this is a pro tip, if you are currently pregnant, if you are considered a geriatric mother, if you find yourself pregnant in the future, take advantage of that geriatric status. With this third pregnancy, I marched myself right down to the tag office and got what? A handicap tag. There is a temporary handicap tag that you can apply for. It's a simple form. You print it off. Your doctor signs it. You can state that you are a high risk pregnancy, which as a geriatric mom, guess what? You are considered high risk. So there should be something in it for you. Take advantage of that. Go get your handicap tag. You can also request medically necessary massages. If you are a spa girly like myself, I love a good massage, and I'm going to get a prenatal massage anyway. I'm going to go to the spa even when I'm not pregnant. It's my favorite form of self-care. But with my third pregnancy, I learned how to play the game. And one of the things that you can do if you have a flex spending account, for me, my husband has it through his insurance policy. And I was able to have the doctor write a letter that said that prenatal massages were medically necessary because I was in my third trimester. I was high risk. I was experiencing back pain and hip pain. I just told her all of the things that were true. I was actually experiencing these things. So she wrote me a letter. We submitted that letter to HSA or FSA, whichever one it is. We got itemized receipts and invoices from the pregnancy spa, and we were able to get reimbursed. So you can get medically necessary massages reimbursed and end up getting free massages for being an old ass mama like me. Okay, so there are some perks and benefits to being geriatric. Now, hopefully y'all have not heard my toddlers upstairs having their wrestling match, but if you did, you did, you know, no shame in my game. Hopefully no judgment, because we're all moms here and the struggle is really real. You can have something on the calendar and the kids don't care. You can be recording something and the kids don't give a damn. So I said that I was going live for 30 days, but y'all, survey says by day 4, y'all are going to get a video every day, but whether it's going to be live or not is between the Lord and these children. Okay. But what I can promise you is that I am going to be a woman of my word, and there will be video content on this channel every single day for 30 days for the month of December. If you are not subscribed and you are interested in all things mindset, motherhood, and money, make sure you hit the subscribe button and catch me tomorrow for day 5. Peace.